Hello and welcome to Three Questions with. Got my friend Jenni with us from Veritas Executive Services. Hi, Jenni. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Hey, Kevin, I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
I appreciate you taking the time. Why don't we jump right in? Tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do?
So, I have spent my career being an executive assistant, project manager, chief of staff within companies of all sizes. And what I've decided to do is go out on my own. I'm tired of being caught up in the corporate cycle, especially these days. It's very challenging in finance and in tech, which is a lot of my background. So, I know there are small businesses, large businesses, executives of teams of all sizes that can use some administrative support in a variety of ways. So, I just figured it's time for me to do that for myself and become accessible for companies and business owners who maybe don't need a full-time resource, or maybe they either don't have the work or they don't have the money for a 40-hour a week person. I'm here to contract 10, 15, 20 hours a week, whatever it is that you need. But it makes the job of administrative support more accessible. So
I
that's why
like
I'm
this.
here.
Yeah, I like this for two reasons. Because, like you said, it's fractional. Because a lot of times we want to hire someone and we're like, geez, I wish I could afford you, Jenni.
Right.
Also, then what we do is we hire someone that's maybe a little more affordable who doesn't have the skill set you have that takes them twice as long to do something.
Exactly.
So, I like your approach because then you can grow with me as my business grows. Hey, Jenni, I know we said 10 hours. Can we make it 15? So
Exactly.
that makes sense. And just to have someone at your level who can, probably help me because, Jenni, I don't know how to do this effectively. I've been trying to do it myself, but because I don't have the skills you have, it's taken me forever. So
Right.
that must be a big time savings for people is getting your experience, right?
It is for sure. And, to go back to the growth piece, maybe someone grows from 10 to 20 hours a week. But also, the other option of growth is maybe they think they just needed executive administrative support. And so they start there. We want 10 hours of an EA, basically. But what they slowly realize is that because of my experience, I can offer more of a strategic partner support. So whether it's running budgets, running event planning, running a special project at a time, or transitioning just the overall strategy of your team, I like to get in with not only the executive or the business owner, but their team to find out the dynamics that are at work and help everybody function not only more efficiently, but everyone's happier, right? I always end up being kind of the team psychologist. So it's like I get my relationship building skills, I get to know everybody at a deeper level and create a little more harmony while you're also working on growing your company, growing your team, growing your revenue, whatever it may be. So the growth can come from I need more hours because I see how quickly you're getting things done. So let's take advantage of that. Or I think your entry level services are great, but I see that actually you're capable of a lot more. So let's partner further.
I like that too, Jenni, because we all get to that proverbial ceiling in our business.
Right.
And bringing in someone like you with your skill set, and also you're coming in from the outside, so you can look at things and say, okay, I know this is what you think of Cav, but you might have to, do this with Cav instead.
Right.
Because it's hard, we started this business together. Jenni's been on my team since the beginning.
Right.
Well, but you need someone different in that seat. We're not saying Jenni's going to
Exactly.
go, but you might have to put her someplace else and stuff. So that's something you
Right.
can do for people is kind of be that second set
Definitely.
of eyes, if you will, right?
Yep, learn how to pivot the team, pivot the focus, pivot people's roles, whatever it may be. And you're right, with me as an outside eye, I don't have those bad habits that I may have picked up from growing along with the team initially. So I have a clearer outsider perspective, but I also will get to know you in a way. So if your team comes to me and they're like, listen, Kevin's really challenging, or that email that he sent, that was, a little rough, but then I can say that's not at all what he meant. You can't read tone in an email. I know Kevin, I've worked with him one-on-one for hours on end. I can promise you this is his intention. This is how you should take it, and let's move forward. So I can kind of eliminate some of the emotions that go along with those team
This is
dynamics that are ever present and can often be very challenging.
So Jenni, give us an example of some of the reasons why companies have consulted with you.
So we've had, let's see, I have a client who he's in one area of a contractor business, and what he wants to do is expand. He's been a contractor for hire, looking to expand into a segment where he invests in his own properties, either flips them, turns them into a rental property, wants to grow that way so he can start establishing himself as someone who brings in revenue. So not only is he going to improve the property of someone else, but he's going to be able to show how he has great ROI for any investors. So turning a contracting business into an investment firm, essentially.
Mhm.
So to go from hands-on contractor to a business is a huge pivot. And so if you've been the one who's doing that physical labor for years, when have you had time to learn how to grow a business, right? You've been relying on referrals of your clients, and people see your work and they want to take that on, and they see what you do, and they're like, I want my house to look like that. That's great. But for you to actually become someone that outside investors come to, give you their money, put their trust in you, and hope for / expect that you're going to return dividends to them, that's a huge change. So he really needs not only administrative support to make that pivot, and to support now the business that's coming in from multiple sides, but also to have some guidance. How do I run a successful business that people will come to me and trust me with their money? How do I put together a pitch deck? How do I put together materials so that people see that I understand the other side of what I do? So that's been, that's a really exciting thing to see, because it's not something you would expect, right? You just think, and I think it shows where my business can be utilized by a variety of different industries. Here you have a 2-person contracting company looking to expand into, essentially a corporate realm. So that's not, when people hear that, they say, oh, well, so I'm a small business and I want to pivot my business. I would have expected that you really only work with corporate executive teams. And it's not the case at all. You can see that you can have a very physical, more blue collar as opposed to white collar career, and I can still offer services to you. I have another client who's actually a social media manager. She has so many clients that she's grown to the point where there's a lot of administrative aspects of her job, whether it's even just, I'll do basic posting for her on social media. That's something that doesn't take that long, but we have volume, and she can be out there content creating, and I can handle the back end of her. So it doesn't take away from what she does. It allows her the time to utilize her expertise better and not spend time doing the back office work. So, it can span across industries. And then, of course, my background in corporate exists, and that's kind of a no-brainer. You can see how that works, but you can see how even just single proprietors can benefit from these services.
So Jenni, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more?
So my website, veritasexec.com, has all the information. It breaks down the different levels of my services, the variety of services that I offer. There's contact information there. And you can have a deeper dive on what I do, and then reach out, and I'm happy to connect with people in any way.
Awesome, Jenni. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to come on the show.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks for being my friend.
Appreciate it.